behind the smeared red lipstick and the tangle of black hair hidden beneath eyeliner that often blurred like tears in the rain, lived one of rock's most misunderstood icons, Robert Smith. To many, he was the godfather of goth, to others a walking paradox, fragile, yet defiant, elusive, yet ever-present, but to those who listened closely, who read every lyric and felt every trembling note, Robert Smith was something else entirely, a romantic cloaked in sorrow, a survivor disguised in shadow. The world slapped labels on him, goth, emo, depressing, but he warned none of them willingly, for Smith's music was never about darkness, it was about feeling too much, about turning pain into poetry, about survival when everything inside was begging him to disappear, and he almost did more than once. Born in Blackpool, England, and raised in a Catholic household, Robert was never meant to be a rock star. He was supposed to follow the rules, keep quiet, stay in line, but conformity never suited him. Sensitive, emotional, and rebellious from a young age, he began challenging expectations early as a teenager. He once wore a skirt to school, not for shock but for curiosity. To test the limits of acceptance, he was punished violently both by adults and peers. But instead of shutting down, Robert turned inward. He began writing, playing, creating. Music became his escape, not just from a strict household, but from a world that didn't know what to do with someone who felt everything. Punk gave him a template, ballads gave him a voice, and from this duality, The Cure was born. The Cure didn't begin in black. Their early sound, including the debut, Three Imaginary Boys, leaned toward punk pop, but everything changed with tragedy. The death of his grandmother, the disintegration of early friendships, and the weight of artistic pressure drove Smith inward. Albums like 17 Seconds, Faith, and Pornography were not just darker, they were nearly suffocating. Smith admitted he wasn't sure he'd survive the making of Pornography. During the tour, he spiraled into drugs, into insomnia, into existential dread. "I didn't think I'd make it past 30, he once said. Not with drama, but with conviction. Every new album felt like a final chapter, yet with each one he emerged barely intact and wrote again. But the music world didn't always get it. Critics dismissed The Cure as a gloomy sideshow. Record execs tried to sanitize his look and lighten the sound, but Robert refused. He wouldn't take off the makeup, he wouldn't play by their rules. His image, smudged lipstick, wild hair, pale skin, wasn't an act, it was armor, protection from a world that demanded too much and gave too little. He was never interested in being cool, he wanted to be honest. That stubborn authenticity cost him mainstream polish, but it earned him something greater, an audience that felt misfits. Romantics, introverts, the emotionally exhausted all found a voice in his lyrics. He didn't save them, he stood beside them internally. Though Smith suffered, The Cure's lineup became a revolving door. Friends became strangers, and creative battles often left him shattered at times. He drank too much, vanished for days, locked himself in hotels just to silence the chaos in his mind. He battled depression that never fully went away, often smiling on stage, only to retreat into darkness afterward. And yet, through every breakdown, he wrote songs like Pictures of You, A Forest, and Lullaby, each a mirror to his psyche. He didn't romanticize pain, he gave it shape, gave it melody, gave people a way to survive it. Still, amid the darkness, there was always light, and that light was Mary Poole, the same woman he met in school, the one he fell in love with before The Cure even existed. She was not just a muse, but a sanctuary, the one for whom he wrote Love Song while other rock stars chased chaos. Smith found refuge in constancy. They married in 1988 and have remained fiercely private ever since. He often said, "Mary saved me not once but repeatedly." She was the one anchor in a life that threatened to drift into madness. Their love wasn't tabloid-worthy, it was quiet, sacred, real. But still, rumors followed him of mental illness, of breakdowns, of being out of touch with reality, some of it exaggerated, but much of it true. Smith has admitted in recent interviews that the fog never fully lifts, that sometimes the world still feels too loud, too fast. He's opened up about the pressure of being seen as a savior to so many, of being expected to write the words that hold others together while he was barely holding on himself. Yet he never used that pressure as an excuse. He kept going, kept touring, kept writing, even when it hurt. And then came 2019, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Robert stood on stage, no longer the fragile 20-some barely surviving the Pornography era, but an elder statesman of rock. He didn't beam, he didn't boast, but there was a calmness, a hard-won dignity. He had survived loss, ridicule, inner chaos, and he had done so without ever selling out. While other bands changed with trends, Robert stayed Robert. While other frontmen flamed out, he stayed present. That moment wasn't just about validation, it was about endurance, proof that the man behind the makeup was more than the image, he was integrity incarnate. In 2025, Robert Smith remains a living legend, not because he chased fame, but because he chased truth. His voice still trembles with honesty, his lyrics still wound and heal in the same breath he has given generations of fans the permission to feel, to break, to rebuild, and he's done it without ever becoming what the industry wanted him to be. He didn't fit in, so he built a world where others who didn't fit in could feel safe. Robert Smith isn't just the face of The Cure, he's a reminder that pain can create beauty, that softness can be strength, and that staying true to yourself when everything tries to reshape you is the ultimate rebellion. His story is not just about eyeliner and heartbreak, it's about resilience, about a boy from Blackpool who refused to disappear, about a man who gave his darkness a voice so that others might find light in theirs. Subscribe to WHISPAR's Dust for more emotional stories behind music legends and the feuds that shaped rock history.